I've always played the conventional or the leading man and a positive family man, Ladla or a Beta or a Mr. India or a Ishwar, or a Lakhan or
And here you're a Maut ka Saudagar.
kind of a situation.
To sort of straddle two very good-looking men, it was not a struggle.
Can we take a break now? I think go and iron his shirt. I said,
What rubbish.
Such a pleasure to have all of you on Film Companion. I have seen the first 2 episodes of The Night Manager. That's all that we were given.
But you have seen it?
I have. And it's very gripping. And it's so bloody good looking here. All of you are just looking smashing.
Wow, is that news to you as well, sir?
Yeah.
Okay, we've been
I have
sabotaged.
watched the trailer.
Wow, that's amazing that you think that.
Because you haven't seen it?
No, we
I
haven't
watched
seen
the
it.
trailer and that's all.
We've seen a
That's all.
bit.
We haven't seen anything.
They have.
Well, I love that I have seen it before you. But listen, it is gripping. It's very good looking. And I have to tell you, it was such a cheap thrill to see John le Carre's name in the producers because, of course, it's based on the original series, which is, of course, adapted from his book. But I was thinking, why are spies having such a moment in Indian storytelling, right? We had Mission Majnu, which is a big hit on streaming. Then we had Pathaan, which is a big hit in theatrical. And now we've got this. Is it just a coincidence?
I think, yeah, it is a coincidence. When things have to go right, they just go right. We never expected these two, we were unaware of Pathaan and Mission
Majnu, yeah.
Majnu, yeah. And I think this is going on since quite some time, Night Manager. It happened too that all three are almost coming together, so it's a coincidence.
Yeah, I doubt the production houses have been in touch and have kind of done
It's a
this
time for spies,
yeah.
which is so thrilling. Now, of course, the original Night Manager was a massive hit globally. It was sold to like 180 countries. It was, it won a slew of Emmys, Golden Globes. How much, just in terms of cues, obviously this is adapted for the Indian scenario. I'm assuming a lot would be different, but how much of your cues as actors are coming from there, especially for the two of you, because Tom Hiddleston and Hugh Laurie's performances were so acclaimed. How much did you take from it?
I think initially I just watched it as a viewer. I loved the show. I thought they were both amazing in their parts. What struck me about what Sandeep had done with it is he kind of had adapted it, and it's not completely the same as the original. He had put in things that were different things as an actor that one could draw from, which was nice. But I think beyond a point, trying to mimic what they did or would have been counterproductive. I think as an actor, you have to find your own way into a part and your motivations and kind of figure it out for yourself so that you are kind of feeling convinced about what you're doing on set. So after having been inspired by their performance, I don't think I ever had to kind of go back to kind of refer to it because, you have to find your own way into it,
Same for you, Anil?
Yeah, we are two different looking people. And if you see both of us, if you walk into a room, it's like they're two different people. And I think that's what is the physicality is the first thing. The first is appearance, which God has given you. There are so many people who become romantic heroes, become action heroes, become, and somewhere, because it's the creator has created and the DNA of the family has created that kind of a structure for you, for a face and all. So you get roles according to the way you look. So if you see both of us, we are totally two different people. So, and he's absolutely right. For me to mimic him would be impossible because he has a certain, I just love him. I love his face. I love his voice. I love his eyes. And I said that. So that was my worry. I said, will I be able, be able to really, and for me, if you know my body of work and the kind of work I have done, is, I've always played the conventional or the leading man and a positive family man, Ladla or a Beta or a Mr. India or a Ishwar, or a Lakhan or
And here you're a Maut ka Saudagar.
kind of a situation. So I said, for me it becomes even more trickier to play a kind of a, with grey shades, but of course he's a family man and he's a charming person. So that is one of the reasons that they felt I was right, that I would be the right person to pull it off. But it was scary for me, honestly.
Yeah.
Quite scary, because as, playing a leading man and a hero in a film and a show has got his own responsibilities. That is also quite stressful. But this becomes even more, I feel, for me, when you have such a past and to pull off this kind of a situation. So I said, now it's up to the audience now what they feel, and if you've seen the first 2 episodes and you've liked whatever you've seen, and obviously the other episodes will follow. And if I am convincing, I'll be very, very happy. And if they say that I've done justice to it, I think, of course, a lot of credit goes to the writing of the book. People love his books, and I've read the book also. And of course, the show directed by Suzanne Bayer, right? Suzanne Bayer. She's a phenomenal director.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And performances of both of them and everybody, even Elizabeth,
Debbie,
right?
Debbie.
And
Character,
and she's become a huge star now. And of course, for Tom and for Elizabeth, I think this was a kind of a take-off point in their careers. And I also very strongly feel that it's going to be a take-off. Now, I'm not being patronizing or being senior and trying to just say that, like that. I mean it sincerely. I think for Sobhita and for Aditya, I think this show will be very, very special in their careers. It will be, I think, kind of a landmark for them. I feel very, very, genuinely I feel it, yeah.
How lovely. Sobhita, do you feel that?
I'm very excited. I've never been shot in such a glamorous way, and I've enjoyed every bit of it. And to sort of straddle 2 very good-looking men, it was not a struggle.
Yes, like I said when I started, it is a very good-looking show. But what was interesting for me was that all 3 of you are in some ways playing people who are hiding something. Even your character, Anil, who is, of course, to the world is this great businessman and philanthropist and all the rest of it, but he's not really. He's doing something else. You, of course, are obviously in a double role, but the little I saw, even your characters saying something on the phone which is not fitting in with the narrative that we see. So in a sense, all of you are delivering a performance within a performance. How challenging was that?
I think
Like real life.
Like
this is a performance within a performance.
But I think somewhere, all of you all will agree, and even you will agree that it boils down to writing.
Boils down to the
writing and what's on paper, and of course, and who's directing you, and who's okaying the shots. So we had a great team of writers, and when I heard the Indian adaptation, I had completely forgotten, because I just seen 1 or 2 episodes of the original before I could see the other episodes also, and I heard the Indian adaptation, and I was completely spellbound. I just loved what was on paper, and they really had worked very, very hard on it. So obviously I gave all my points, and of course then you're scared now. Okay, ये तो writing होगा, set पे क्या होगा? Set पे कौन है director? And then Sandeep, of course, I had heard a lot about him because I'd met him. He was involved in Arya, and he was involved in Neerja also. And Sonam kept on, praising him and saying, Sandeep is very good. He's a very nice man. I said, I don't want a nice man. I want a very good director.
Nice.
I know he's a very nice man. So no. I said, Dad, he's terrific. He's very good and all. So he was, he was there and also. I said, yeah, of course. I said, so he's done these 2. He's obviously when you involve and collaborate with a person like Ram, obviously you learn so much from Ram.
Ram
Madhwani, I'm talking about. So I said, okay, let me take the punt. And then we went on the sets and we were pleasantly surprised. Yeah, at least I was, that he was terrific, absolutely fantastic. And of course, he was focusing more on on Adi, including his collar, shirt. Can we take a break now? I think go and iron his shirt. I said, what the fuck
What rubbish.
I was waiting for his shirt to be hanged.
Because you're never out of place, sir. You're always like, I need to.
So I just felt a little left out.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
But Aditya, it is, you are the titular character, right? This is, and from what I've seen, you're in almost every frame.
Right.
Would you say it is, next year it's going to be 15 years for you in the movies?
Yeah. Yeah, nearly. I mean, it's been a while.
Would you say it's your most challenging role?
Or 24?
24. 24 is 15 years.
In 2024.
2024 will be 15 years. Yeah.
Most challenging role, would you say?
Thank God you come in a senior bracket now.
Yeah, people are calling me sir, and I'm like, so? I was always the kid on set, yeah.
I'm not feeling alone now. Sir, how are you, sir?
I'm good, sir. How are you? To call us sir.
She's the only kid on the block, huh?
Yeah. Definitely was challenging. Definitely was challenging. But I think really helped by great writing. Yeah. I think the subject matter was so good and it was so well sieved out that when the writing is good, you don't feel like you have to kind of do very much, You have to just play it. And I don't feel like I had to struggle. It was all there on the page. And yeah, I guess the challenging thing was, this is my first series, right? And the quantum of work is a lot more. So you're kind of doing more work in a day, and to sustain that.
The senior's laughing in the corner because he's just done
Sir
this.
has obviously done 24, where it was 3 times as much, so he laughs.
I was quantum of work is much.
I mean,
for me, it was like a picnic after doing 24.
Yeah. So in that sense, it's about trying to get that quality, even though you're doing more pages a day. So that was the kind of challenge, to make sure that you're concentrated. But yeah, I think we have enough pressures on ourselves to kind of. It's better to get rid of it and not feel like you have too much on your shoulders. Yeah. Keep it light.
Well, please do elaborate on the performance within a performance, which is what you're doing here. I love that.
Yeah, but we must exploit Pathan now, because the screenplay writer of Pathan
That's right,
Sridhar.
Yes.
He's the spy specialist.
Spy specialist, yeah. We have the spy specialist.
Brando famously said in one of his interviews, right, when they were like, how do you do what you do? You're so amazing. But then he told this interviewer that, aren't you acting right now? Don't we all act in real life? So it's that, right? We kind of put on these faces right now in an interview, being this version of ourselves. So it's
some variation of that.
I guess so, yeah.
What about for you, Sobhita? Because she is clearly hiding something. I don't know what it is.
I don't know if she's lying as much as she's just being economical with her truth.
Oh, I like that.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
always told you she speaks.
That's a nice way to put it when you've lied.
Say,
I'm just being economical with my truth.
less is more.
Yeah. Because I don't think she's like a pro at it. She is afraid. There is a lot of turbulence within, but she keeps it all together. So I think it's not absolute lying. I don't think she has the guts for it.
As I was watching, I was thinking, Sobhita, the characters you play either have tragic backstories or unhappy endings. Do you ever wonder why directors see you like that?
I have thought about it. It seems like a pattern. I don't quite know why. But then some of my most favorite actors have played parts that embody grief so beautifully that I think it's quite wonderful to be given characters that ask for depth, that ask for that current, moving, breathing current. Because grief is love that has nowhere to go. So I think that's quite nice. I'd like to look at it like that.
Very deep, huh?
Yeah, deep one.
Very deep.
Sounds good, that one.
Sounds good.
But it is true, I feel. Grief is love that has nowhere to go.
Very
Okay.
deep.
Wow.
Your character. Now, of course, he is a Maut ka Saudagar and all that.
Don't say that.
That is
But he
I'm
is.
trying to be classy and a Maut ka Saudar.
He's very classy. He is very classy. So here's my question.
This guy from Elcom and New Entry wants to be classy, So Maut ka Saudar bol ke mere ko वापस वहीं भेज दिया.
But when Anil, that moment when his son is threatened, which is also in the trailer, so please nobody come at me with spoilers. You see his humanity, right? He responds like a father.
Yeah.
And that's very interesting for me, as when you're playing a guy like this, who is isn't good and needs to be menacing and needs to be scary, but also needs to be believable and needs to have some humanity. How do you find that balance?
I think most of the people, whatever books I've read and whatever I know about these kind of people, obviously I've not really, you can't meet, in real life you can't meet, oh, he's the worst man in the world and I'm very friendly to him, it's not possible. But whatever I've seen, they're very, including Mario Puzo's Don Corleone, he is what he is, even, Pacino, but they're very family people. They love their families. And these people love their families even more. Who have a certain kind of, where they know that ultimately the end is only doom. And they can see it coming. So they are definitely much more attached to the families. And who they, that's what they hold on to a certain extent. So I think that's what, made it more interesting and for me to jump into this show and do this role, yeah.
This series is more James Bond than Family Man in terms of the hardware. I mean, you've got the helicopters and the explosions and the guns and like I said, everything's very good looking. And of course, you've got the locations. So what was it like for you all to be like Wildflower Hall one day, Sri Lanka the next day? What was it like to be sort of globe-trotting?
It was just wonderful. Wonderful, because this was just after lockdown and I was coming out of my house and we were plonked on the beach for a month. It was very hot, but it was lovely to be there.
We went from,
No, definitely one of the perks of the show.
For sure.
Yeah.
We went from beach to, like in Sri Lanka, to Shimla where it was super cold, to the desert right after. So it was like we were sampling it all.
Yeah.
It was actually really fun.
Yeah. The only hard part for me was I couldn't eat any of the good food at these hotels because I had to kind of be in shape for the part. So that was kind of torturous. But I said I'll take it still. It's fine.
And since you brought up your shirt being ironed, looking good is a part of the brief here.
It is.
Right?
It is. It is. It definitely is. And you have to take these 5-minute breaks every now and then to iron a shirt. It's important.
But I didn't get those 5 minutes.
So yours doesn't need ironing.
No, but still.
Yeah.
You also have a great team. I mean, you talked about Sridhar Raghavan. There's also Sam CS on the music. I mean, he did the music for Vikram Vedha and is just a tremendous sort of artist. What was it like to work with, people who...
Well, we had Ben, who's the director of photography, he was the DOP on War also. And, I think he's added a lot to the look of the film.
So this is, in a sense...
He's an Australian, and he's pretty fast.
Yeah.
And so I think that also really made a lot of difference to the show. So we had a great team. Yeah, we were fortunate to have a fantastic team.
Great team.
Yeah.
Great team.
But it's sort of cinematic television.
Yeah.
Would you say that's what everyone's aiming for?
See, that was the challenge, and I think I have to give it to the platform, Disney+Hotstar, for backing this project. I think, because it needed that scale. Without the scale, I think the show would completely fall flat.
Yeah.
And we needed these.
Because the original had the sweep, and
Yeah, sweep,
if we weren't doing it, I guess they would.
And of course, our budgets are good, but compared to those budgets, it's minuscule.
Right.
Compared to the kind of budgets international shows get. Yeah.
Yeah, but was that for you, Aditya, something before you signed it, that it has to have the same sweep as the original?
When I first met Sandeep, he took me through his vision for the show and it quickly became apparent that that's the way he was looking at it. And it felt right, if they were not doing it at the scale that they did, I don't know if it would be possible because you physically do have to go to that many locations and, you needed the snow, you needed the sea and you needed the desert. And just by virtue of that, you're going to have to go to those places. So, that's what one of the things that excited me initially was the team actually that Sandeep had put together, all the technicians. It felt like everyone that was at the top of their game, and he had done his recce's. He had already done a lot of the legwork. So when I came on pretty late, and I saw the way that they were planning on shooting it, and it kind of all lined up.
Sometimes you give, to complete exactly. You cannot just give. You have to give credit to the maker, the director, and the that you give the director everything. You give him scale, you give him money, give him location, but still you can't capture it. Yeah, there are so many.
That happens too.
That happens too.
Yeah.
So what happens is you give in so much, but you make it look so big also. So that credit has to go to the filmmaker, to the director, who's and the technicians who make it look. So what I then, if you feel that it's looking big and beautiful, I think full marks to all the technicians.
Yeah. The 15.
Besides, obviously, all of us
too.
behind the little bit,
Little glamour.
Shobhita.
Especially Sobhita.
They like to roast me. It's a hobby.
You don't know what you've done to our show, Sobhita. I swear.
No, you are very glamorous.
Very glamorous, Sobhita.
It's my first. I'm so kicked. I think.
Sobhita, you don't know.
Tell me.
No, but Shobhita, tell me this. In spy stories, usually women get short shrift because men are saving the world or men are destroying the world. My sense of this woman is that that's probably not what's going to happen. She is propelling this narrative between the two men. But what can you tell us?
You're going to take such a long pause.
I'm just
I swear
thinking
on
what.
God, they will cut this bloody interview here.
But sometimes she thinks before speaking.
I think that no matter what difficulty she faces, she's unwilling to be just a victim of that. The character is too interesting to be a victim, is how I see it. And a lot of times, like you said, ma'am, in a spy world, the woman's part isn't the most significant, but I don't think screen time implies significance.
Not at all.
I've actually enjoyed my part in the show for what it is, and I think there's no misjudgment of what it should be, what it could have been. I see it for what it is, and I really had fun with it. So that's my takeaway.
So, Aditya, when the original series dropped, in that there was a scene in which we saw Tom Hiddleston's rear end.
Right.
And it became a sensation.
Right.
And
What they saw, the Tom?
his bum.
Buttocks.
His buttocks.
Achha, let's go back and reshoot it.
So lunch.
Now, obviously, this is more family friendly, and
Right.
that's not going to happen. But when that
No,
happened,
I will make sure this happens.
you'll pull the seniority out to
Reshoot,
make this
yeah.
happen. Reshoot.
I just completely slipped. I should have been in my contract that this bum has to be there.
But
But so it became such a sensation that there was a hashtag Hiddles bum. It was this viral thing. Okay, now obviously that's not going to happen here.
Right.
What's a hashtag you do want to see?
like you never know though. It's wait and watch, right? I think it'll depend on what we've shot.
It's a lot.
Don't misguide the audience. It's not there. The bum is not there.
The bum is not there, but
The bum is not there. What could this hashtag be? No. No. I think it's a family show. We want to bring all the audiences in. Let me not. Do you have something in mind?
it's a lot. Yeah.
We've tried our hand at that scene. And I think we've done well. Now we'll find out.
Just say
We'll
no
find.
more.
Yeah, just say no. No hashtag. I can't think of it.
Noted. Thank you so much.
On that note, you want to end?
I do. I love that note. No, but that's great. Thank you. And can't wait to see the rest of the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.